Welcome to the Work Zone Speed Limit Reduction Training. This training is provided by the California Department of Transportation, Division of Construction. This training is meant to provide you with a general understanding of work zone speed limit reduction. For complete details and guidance, refer to the latest standard special provisions, standard plans, and other applicable guidance documents. Enhancing the safety of highway workers and public motorists is the Department of Transportation's #1 priority. In support of this ongoing effort, in April of 2019, Caltrans mandated a 10 mile per hour work zone speed limit reduction on all construction projects. The learning objectives of this training are to familiarize viewers with California's legislation involving work zone speed limit laws, the different types of work zone speed limit reduction, the conditions in which to implement them, the work zone speed limit reduction standards, plans, signage, and devices, exceptions to the work zone speed limit reduction, the California Highway Patrol's involvement, and finally, the required public outreach efforts for work zone speed limit reduction on construction projects. California Vehicle Code sections 21367, 22362, and 22354 allows for the regulation of the movement of traffic through an area whenever traffic would endanger the safety of workers, and how it is a violation of the basic speed law for a person to operate a vehicle in excess of the posted speed limit when appropriate signs are in place within a restricted zone. There are two types of work zone speed limit reduction. The first being a temporary part-time condition, that is only when lane and or shoulder closures are placed, and the second being a 24 hours a day, 7 days a week condition. The first type of work zone speed limit reduction is a temporary part-time condition. This is generally established for short-term stationary construction work zones when the work area and workers are next to live traffic. This temporary part-time work zone speed reduction condition is not required for short duration closures of 1 hour or less, or when the length of the lane closure is half a mile or less. The second type of work zone speed limit reduction is a 24 hours a day, 7 days a week condition. This is generally established for long-term construction work zones, particularly when the physical features, roadway condition, or the work zone require lower vehicle speeds. It is important to note that motorists generally do not slow down until there is a perceived reason to do so, so proper application of each type of work zone speed limit reduction is crucial in its effectiveness. Therefore, an assessment should be performed by the project engineer for a temporary part-time work zone speed limit reduction and or a 24/7 work zone speed limit reduction on construction projects. If an assessment for a temporary part-time work zone speed limit reduction is warranted, there are two types of conditions to consider for implementation. The first type of condition is for a single crew operation, in which the temporary part-time work zone speed limit reduction is applicable only at the location where the workers are present. In this example, the speed reduction is in place only where the crew is replacing concrete slabs. For effectiveness, temporary part-time work zone speed limit reduction signage should only be posted in active areas where workers are present. During periods of inactivity or when the temporary traffic controls are removed from the roadway, the temporary part-time work zone speed limit reduction signs must be covered or removed. These signs are to be installed or uncovered at the beginning of the work shift and removed or covered at the end of the work shift. The second type of condition to consider for temporary part-time implementation are for multiple crews in which the work zone speed limit reduction would apply to the entire length of the work zone, as in this example where you have a saw cutting operation downstream of a concrete slab operation. Again, the temporary part-time speed limit reduction signs are to be installed or uncovered at the beginning of the work shift and removed or covered at the end of the work shift. Conditions to implement a 24 hours a day, 7 days a week work zone speed limit reduction depends on the roadway factors. The roadway factors for this condition are the following. 1. A major change in roadway geometric alignment, such as a median crossover that results in counterflow traffic. 2. Long-term lane closure with reduction in the number of lanes. 3. Reduction in lane width less than 11 feet. 4. No shoulders. 5. Temporary barrier adjacent to traffic with no shoulders. 6. Pavement conditions, including edge drop-offs, tapered knot wedge, cold planed pavement surfaces, and chip seals. 7. Multiple construction entrances and egress locations, including median access locations. And finally, 8. Stopping and corner sign distance restrictions, including intersections and entrance ramps. A new standard special provision entitled Construction Work Zone Speed Limit Reduction will be found in Section 12 and will be made available in April 2020. The standard special provision includes a general, materials, construction, and payment subsections. New standard plan T-sheets for the construction work zone speed limit reduction will also be made available in April of 2020. A T18 standard plan sheet for freeways and expressways. A T19 for conventional highways. A T20 details plan sheet. And a T21 plan sheet for 24/7 conditions. If the mentioned T-sheets, T18, 19, 20, and 21, are not appropriate for the project, then the project engineer must include them in the traffic handling plans. Here is a side-by-side comparison of the two types of work zone speed limit reduction and the applicable bid items on how each will be paid. Now, let's take a closer look at the placement of signs and devices for work zone speed limit reduction. Signs and devices must be placed within the limits of the road work ahead sign and the end construction sign. Should the signs and devices need to be placed outside the project limits, place an additional road work ahead sign in advance of the portable changeable message sign. There are two types of signs to use depending on the operation duration. For a temporary part-time condition, when an operation is less than and greater than 7 days, use portable signs. For a 24/7 condition, when an operation is less than 7 days, use portable signs, while for operations greater than 7 days, use stationary mounted signs. Place the sign at distances shown on the screen for each facility type. For advanced warning work zone speed limit reduction construction area signs and devices, place a speed limit sign in advance of the reduced speed limit sign. Spacing between signs should be a minimum of 1,000 feet. For 24/7 conditions, advanced warning work zone speed limit reduction construction area signs should be placed to inform the California Highway Patrol and motorists of the reason why the speed limit reduction is being reduced ahead. In this case, there is uneven pavement. The use of portable changeable message signs and radar speed feedback signs is to provide drivers with a visual cue to slow down. A portable changeable message sign should be placed in advance of the advance warning speed limit sign and must display the message of the reduced speed zone ahead and will be enforced. A radar speed feedback sign must be placed 400 feet in advance of the work zone. The radar speed feedback system must have a speed limit sign with the reduced speed limit and a work zone plaque mounted above the Your Speed sign. For multiple work areas within a work zone, if the end of the work area 1 is 2 or more miles from the beginning of work area 2, then place an additional radar speed feedback sign in advance of work area 2. Here is a summary of which type of radar speed feedback sign to use for each work zone speed limit reduction condition. At the end of the work zone, place the end work zone speed limit sign. Exceptions to the work zone speed limit reduction policy requires approval of the Deputy District Directors for Traffic Operations and Construction and must be documented on the Construction Work Zone Speed Limit Reduction Determination Form CEM 1301. Speed limit reduction signs alone may not reduce motorist speeds in the work zone. Therefore, one of the most effective ways to slow down motorists in the work zone is through law enforcement. Informing and educating the public is necessary to effectively implement work zone speed limit reduction on projects. Caltrans public information officers should issue a press release that include the following. 1. Why work zone speed limit reduction is necessary for the project. 2. When enforcement of the work zone speed limit reduction will be applicable. And 3. The expected starting and ending date of the work zone speed limit reduction on the project. In summary, let's go over what we have learned. 1. California's legislation involving work zone speed limit laws. 2. The types of work zone speed limit reduction. 3. The implementation conditions. 4. Standards, plans, signage, and devices. 5. The exceptions. 6. California Highway Patrol's involvement. And finally, the required public outreach efforts for work zone speed limit reduction. Again, for complete details and guidance, please refer to the project special provisions, standard plans, and other applicable guidance documents. Remember, enhancing the safety of highway workers and public motorists is the Department of Transportation's #1 priority. We hope this information has provided you with a better understanding of the Department's work zone speed limit reduction policy as it relates to the ongoing safety effort of reducing serious injuries and fatalities in the work zone. This has been a production of the Department of Transportation's Division of Construction.